Let's hope not.
All right, Ken, it's Wednesday, so
That can only mean one thing.
it's time to start it.
Let's go.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar. Hey! 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 Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Hey! Hey! Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy.
All right, Ken, we made it back. Hang on.
We've already
Somehow,
got people waiting for us.
I know. Look at that, man.
Good to see you, Slender Spartan.
Yeah, look at that. We got all kinds of chats rolling in here. Wait a minute. What is this for? Is that sample ones? Yeah, I think that's sample ones. Where's my demo? That's my demo chat. I don't want my demo chat. But we got Spartan here. I don't know what happened to this. Hang on. Turn off the demo. There we go.
I haven't played with the updated restream enough to know all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. There we go. I think I have it. Who knows? Awesome. Well, welcome back, Ken. It felt like you were gone forever. So yeah, we do have Slender Spartan, our local Mando, popping in. So thank you for that. So Ken, before we get started, where can people find you if they're not watching you here?
Usually here, but I wasn't here last week. You got an awesome co-host last week. just recently put out another episode of Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Kev. Todd and I were able to interview Tom Hutchins, who was the creator of the Mando Mercs Costume Club. So all of those mercs that you see, well, not all of those mercs, let me rephrase that. Many of the mercs that you see that are official costumers are members of that worldwide organization known as the Mando Mercs. And then every once in a while, I'll be on the Bantamilk podcast with Robert and David and Tom. And then every so often, I do my own show every month or so called the Rambling Star Wars Fan. And if the stars align, if the things go right, I'm going to have an episode out this week. And I know I say that every week, but I'm hoping that this is the week.
Hey, that's all right. Well, they
You've
can
been
find
doing a
me.
ton of
Yeah, I was
stuff,
going
too.
to say they can find me here. The 501st cast. We just recorded the April show, which will be up on the 5th at 11:38.
38.
And helping out so with Star Wars Geek Girl. So, and I think Star Wars Geek Girl, I could be wrong by a day or so, but I think today, the time of this recording, is Lizzie's birthday. So one of the
Oh, very cool.
one of the Geek Girls is getting a year older, which I guess every day we're all getting a year older. But besides that, and yes, last week we had Jake Stetler on, so that was a lot of fun talking cowboys and westerns and Star Wars and filmmaking and all of that. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, and then I did listen to your latest one of Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy. I thought that was a really good one. So yeah, that I would say everyone should give that a listen.
Yeah, not to spoil it, I was pleasantly surprised by Tom's response. I had asked him what his thoughts were on having um, costumes approved by the Mando Mercs and the 501st. And I'm not going to spoil it here, but I thought it was a wonderful answer. And I was very, I was, I figured there'd be a little bit more, not possessiveness, but that's the only word that comes to my mind right now. Protectiveness, maybe, of the Mercs. And
Yeah. Well,
I,
yeah. Yeah, but he was a very gracious person. Like for someone who founded the Mando Mercs, I would have never expected the humility and the simpleness of him. You know, when it
and it
comes to
was
that.
it was so fun. I mean, for me as a person who gets easily starstruck, especially by someone who does something so significant as that he's done over time, it
Yeah,
was really nice. He was like talking to another dude, another costumer, another fan, who gets excited and enjoys this stuff as much as you and I do.
yeah. Well, it's definitely everyone should listen to it. It's a really good one. You guys had some good questions. He had a lot of good comments. And you know what? So that could even lead into, we're talking a little bit about we're going to talk about the 50th anniversary of Star Wars beginning to be filmed yet Sunday. I think was the official 50th anniversary, I think. But listening to your show, and then I did an interview for the of Trooper of the Month for the 501st cast coming up, because the other guys weren't available. I did a interview with the person, but putting that together with the interview you guys did, and you and I always talk about the makers and Star Wars, and I realized that the fans and the makers, especially if you listen to you guys' show, it shows how they're, to quote a Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn, symbiotic relationship, in the sense that if you listen to the history of the Mando Mercs, it almost drove some of the Mandalorian lore, which then fed into the Mandalorian shows and things, which
Yeah,
fed into the Mando Mercs, which then fed into the shows. It was just like a loop, and I
yeah,
just that was so
it
cool.
seems like it continues to do that, which is so exciting. I mean,
Yeah,
let's think about this. We're in the Star Wars or the Disney Star Wars era, and the rumor I heard is when they were putting together the Force Awakens, Kathleen Kennedy had seen some droid builders at a Star Wars celebration and asked them to work on the droids for The Force Awakens.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah, that's what it was just listening to him and listening to the lore. And I'm gonna have to subscribe to his I don't want to say too much because I want people to listen to the show, but his proverbs of the day or something. He said he's been
Yep.
doing a proverb of the day.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just neat to see how the fans kind of pitched in. I mean, Boba Fett in general, the 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 love of Boba Fett from that mail order toy for I think sometimes the love of him in the Christmas special is more rewriting what most of us thought. You know what I mean? Like after we saw him a little bit. But I think that, all of that was just really cool. There's some bounty hunters on there right now.
Yeah, good to see you, Todd. Glad you could join us.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an excellent episode there, Todd. And definitely people should listen to that.
Yeah, so one of the things that Todd and I decided to do for this year with Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy, instead of just focusing on the movie lore, the story lore, is we're going to talk to as many costumers as we can this year, and not just Mando marks, because that's what we had focused on, in terms of the lore in previous episodes. We did, Jango Fett and some of the other bounty hunters, but we want to talk to some of the other folks who have seen stuff on screen, have read the books, maybe even played some of the video games, and decided to take that love and creativity and make it practical so that they can wear it
Yeah.
wherever they go. And so we've got some things in the work to talk to some folks from the 501st, and we're going to see about talking to some droid builders and talking to some other Mando mercs along the way. So this year will be for the Bounty Hunter Across the Galaxy. We're going to be spending as much time with costumers as we can.
Nice. Yeah, I again that episode, and again the gentleman I interviewed with Trooper of the Month and stuff he did. It just showed me how much influence the fans have in a good way. I mean, I guess fans could have. I mean, I guess all licenses and properties you have a fan influence, good or bad. But it is nice to see how it's kind of interwoven. It would be the
Well, and what's interesting about Star Wars fandom specifically is it doesn't exist the same way as other fandoms do. So, for instance, I don't see costumers of Batman influencing the storyline of a comic book or
right,
even a
right.
movie. But Star Wars fans have managed to bring characters back from the dead. Star Wars fans have managed to um, get an entire, not species, but entire group of of characters to be put front and center.
Yeah,
And in that effort, they also got other costumers involved. So when you go back to that first season of The Mandalorian, when you had this whole entire screen filled with stormtroopers who were members of the 501st,
right, right,
you know,
right.
and we in various ways we know a couple people who've also shown up on screen in other things, whether we're talking about Ajax Citizen or
Yeah.
John Talley or what I can't remember what John Rodriguez's character's name was
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah,
Skeleton Crew, but
yeah.
so to see that the level of impact that fans have on the actual property, I don't think that happens in other fandoms.
No, no. Well, and I think it just comes back from George. The yeah. I mean, it just comes from what George's thing. And yeah, bounty hunting across the grass. Like and subscribe, share. It's that little bit that helps. Um, but yeah, I got a message from Zoe on Sunday that it was the 50th anniversary of I would imagine principal photography, which I can't. I probably
Yes,
knew it. I probably knew it one time, but I'm pretty sure they filmed the Tunisian stuff first,
yes,
if I remember correctly. And the only reason I think I know that is because the stormtrooper armor was not finished. That's why the sand trooper armor is slightly different than the regular TKs. the ab plate wasn't done and they hadn't decided on a knee plate. And if you've ever worn a sand trooper, that knee plate can be a pain. So I'm glad that the regular stormtroopers went with the smaller knee plate. So, but yeah, so they, what I like, the picture that's our background is probably in my top 5 Star Wars pictures of all time. You can't see George there, but it's like George looking at Anthony Daniels in my favorite C-3PO suit, the New Hope suit. That's probably one of my favorite pictures of all time for and I think of like Tunisia, and I think of all the stories we got. Like we got the stories where, like the I think it was a Tunisian army thought the partially built
Sandcrawler.
Sandcrawler was a military vehicle. It was the first time they got some kind of crazy rain in like decades or something like that. It was like all these things that should have went wrong, and you had poor Sir Alec Guinness not knowing what was going on. You have a picture of him sitting in a chair all wrapped up, and we still got a good movie out of it.
Yeah, good. I think good's an understatement.
Yeah. Well, right.
The
I
fact
mean,
we got a movie at all, really, considering all of the like you said, all of the things that went wrong.
yeah,
Even to the point, you mentioned that they started filming in Tunisia, and when George made it back to California, the California crew had one shot done,
yeah,
and it was of the escape pod falling. That was
yeah,
that was the only thing that they had done, and George had to, really crack the whip and get things going. And in their defense, they were also building this infrastructure to do
yeah,
the things that George had in his mind, so much so that many of the things that were created for this movie from 1977 changed
yeah,
filmmaking forever.
yeah. Well, and you think of the props even from Tunisia. Like you think of some of those droids. That one droid, I forget, isn't it the day the world stood still? The big tall one?
Oh yeah, that's a Robbie.
Robbie, yeah. Like they were just throwing stuff out there like just to fill stuff
Well,
in Tunisia.
and this prop here that's on this is the crate dragon.
Yeah.
This was actually left in the desert from a Disney movie that was made several years before Star Wars was made.
Yeah.
So it was not an easy undertaking at all. And it's not done. Like we're still talking about it 50 years later, and I bet you dollars to donuts we talk about it 50 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and for me personally, the Tatooine, New Hope Tatooine scenes are still some of my favorite. Still some of my favorite. TK 2066. Hey, yeah, we I think you'll enjoy the newest 501st cast there. I think you'll enjoy it there, Anthony. Um but yeah, like I still like those scenes. And I feel like they captured when they did the special edition version. I know a lot of people didn't like them. I liked it even more. It made the Tatooine scenes even better. Like I loved
Yeah.
seeing spread out. I liked small Mos Eisley when I first saw it, but then when you saw the big ones with the more people on it, and it made Luke seem more like a country bumpkin than he did. Because when they're like, you didn't think of him as a country bumpkin because the town he went into had like 3 buildings the first time you saw it. And then when he goes in, you're like, oh wow, you know. So yeah,
Well, and still today, you can take a trip to that place in Tunisia
yeah,
to see that building that's in the background right now.
yep. And if you don't have if you can't get to Tunisia, you can still go to Death Valley and overlook Mos Eisley in Death
Yeah,
Valley. So and
yeah.
bring your pink shorts and you can
Recreate the feeling of being in Mos
yeah.
Eisley.
I did ask Jake if he had pink shorts because he said he did every job on the movie thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so he knew what I was talking with, or at least was good enough nature to just go along with it and not think there was something wrong with me.
Well, Ken is a legend, and his contributions to Star Wars will live on.
Yeah.
Not me, Ken, the other Ken.
Well, no,
Ken
you're
Pink
the
Shorts.
legend now too. You've joined that because there's many people that have costumed as Pink Shorts guy, but not many people have filmed on a desert-like environment with pink shorts on.
Whose name's also Ken. So
Whose name is also Ken. Like that's like
it
a
just works
whole
out
bunch
pretty
of
well.
that's a whole bunch of check marks that I think, you know, it would have been better if we did it in 2027, so you could have done it like,
Yeah.
you know, or
Still time.
2026.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah. Yeah, if Matt needs some reshoots, you know, we're here for you, Matt.
Well, I mean, this might be a spoiler, but that costume might show up at Fan Expo.
Nice, nice. Wow, maybe you should just stand there if we do a panel. You could just stand there and or
Yeah,
do
I
we
mean,
just
boom, everybody.
do we make a mannequin of Ken? You know,
Perhaps
a
we have the
Ken again.
technology.
So yeah,
It'll be Ken E. So Ken big E.
yeah, yeah, or it could be E Ken, like E and then Ken. You know, like a artificial one.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to lose my voice here. I'm sorry. If I sound like I'm turning into a bass singer, then yeah, no, I mean, I'm just trying to think of New Hope because it's like the 50th anniversary, and I'm thinking of like when we like I think of all the bloopers shows that have bloopers, and the only real blooper I remember as a kid seeing was I think they showed where the mic was in frame. That one scene where they're running down the Death Star hallway, and they had
Oh,
to
come on.
reshoot.
There's the most infamous of all bloopers that they kept in the movie.
Oh yeah, when he hit his head. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that became legend. That became
Yeah.
part of the story.
Well, when I first started trooping with the 501st, my girls laughed and they said that was me. Like when they were little, they were like, "No, that's you, Dad." When you hit the guy that hit his head. So yeah, the and there's so many iconic, like I think of that New Hope and when they were shooting all that, and I think of like the you would see the pictures of when they swung across the trench, I mean they swung across the thing, or the trench run with the pickup truck, when they were filming the trench run with the pickup truck. I'm trying to think of what other things I saw. There was
How
always
about the
that.
model for the Tenta V4?
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
that
you remember,
original. Go ahead.
yeah, the original, they were selling that in like the year before. I don't know if it ever came to be made, but that was one of the first ships you could buy, like on J.C. Penney's catalog or whatever, or something.
Yeah, the prototype. I don't know if it actually made it to production.
Yeah.
But the model that they used, the modelers were still a little bit playful, and in the cockpit of the Tantive 4 was little characters, little model figures, so that when you filmed it, they had people in there, and there was a little poster on the back wall from
Ah,
from a Playboy magazine.
that's funny.
So that model that they used when in filming, the craftsman went to that level of detail for
Yeah. Well, I remember the poster, of all the ships. I think the Falcon was like center, and then it was like, I don't know if it came in like a Dynamite magazine or something like that, but it was a poster, and the Falcon was, and there was just tons of ships flying. I don't think it ever really reminisced anything from New Hope, but it was yeah. And I
it.
don't think, yeah.
From your perspective, so this movie that came out in 1977 that we've said a number of times have changed filmmaking and stuff. What are some of the big impacts that you can think of that you would tie directly to this movie?
Oh man. You mean
Because for
impacts on my
me,
life or impacts on the world?
yes, both. Because like from a movie perspective, we have to remember that back then movies were distributed differently. It's not that they were in every movie theater from the door.
Right.
And this movie was so successful that it stayed in the theater for over a year.
Yeah.
So you could, even though it was released in May of 1977, you could still go to the movie theaters in December and watch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think for me as a kid, and I didn't go to that many movies, so that could be part of it. But I think when I left the theater, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like it was just in my head. Like it was, usually when I was in a theater when I was a kid, I was worried about, okay, are we going to get a snack after? Or are we, you know what I mean? And I couldn't get it out of my head. Like I couldn't get Stormtroopers and Darth Vader in a good way out of my head, you know?
Well, Darth Vader became one of those figures that kids around the world recognized as scary and evil, so
Yeah.
much so that when they built the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and they did a survey of kids of what they should put on the building as gargoyles, Darth Vader was one of the ones selected. So there's a carving of Darth Vader's head on the National Cathedral because kids around the world said it was scary.
That's funny. Yeah, well, the other thing, I think the other thing that stood out to me during the movie was, and I said this before, I think I was raised by my grandparents, and it always seemed like on television and movies, if a kid was not raised by their parents, there was always some overly like thrown in your face message about it. You know what I mean? Like the whole show, and this was like he lived with his uncle and then it just kind of moved on from there. You know what I mean? Like I was like it was almost like it wasn't all that strange in a way, So I really liked.
And they didn't make a big deal out of it either.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like,
Yes, it got
well,
built into the
that's
story
just
later, but
yeah.
it wasn't like Luke was bad because he was raised by
Yeah, Luke,
his
yeah.
aunt and uncle,
Yeah. Which I
or
always
that
thought
his parents were neglectful. It was just this is the story we well
yeah.
this is the story we got.
And then Han Solo, man, I can't I don't I know a lot of kids like Luke, but I like Luke. Like Luke was number one the first time I saw him until Han appeared, and I was like, "What? This guy's the coolest person I've ever seen." You know, he has a dog as a pet. I mean, as a friend. Like I think that probably hit me as hard, if not more, than the being raised by your uncle and aunt. For the short term, like Han Solo introduces himself as himself, pointing with his thumb. You know what I mean? Like you can't, you know, that was it was life changing. Again, I've said this before. I wish someone would have just said to me right outside of theater, this is going to change your life. I probably were, some weirdos talking to a kid, but because it did. It changed how I looked at everything. Like and you said this before. Like I want to know how things were made. I like everything. It was just the special effects were even the worst special effects were better than anything I'd ever seen. Even the lowest tech that they used. You know.
And one of the things that I think sets this movie apart from others is the makers shared that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like after Saturday Night Fever, there was a documentary on how they made the flashing light floor, or some of the other movies that came out in 1977. There wasn't a behind the scenes for Freaky Friday,
yeah.
but there were books and there were the made for TV specials, um, all along the way throughout history about how the makers made this stuff.
And when it first came out, every little magazine of any note, like I remember Parade magazine, it was in the Sunday paper. They would have all these Star Wars specials, and you would have everyone was trying to show you something about Star Wars.
The shoe star,
The which one?
the shoe starfighter.
Which one's that?
We'll have to have Todd tell the story.
Huh? So, I mean, And there was so much I missed. I would say I missed C-3PO's silver leg probably the first 5 years I watched that movie. It just didn't dawn on me that he had a silver leg until I saw like a good copy of it on television or something. Because we had black and white TV. And then the first time I saw the movie, I was just in awe, of all of that.
Yeah, and I
So
can't even remember the first time I saw it because it came out when I was 2. So I don't think I was in the theater for that, but I definitely was in the theater for Return of the Jedi for sure.
yeah, yeah. New Hope. It was like I you had so many questions like what were Jawas, what were sand people, like, and they didn't answer them, and I think that made it even better. Like because
Well, heck, they
then
didn't even give names to all the characters. They went with
yeah,
nicknames for most of them.
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
can't,
that was
I can't imagine anyone would have signed up to be, Snaggletooth or Hammerhead.
well. I mean, I just remember being young, and the if you knew who Tarkin was, if you remembered Tarkin's name, then you were considered like the whiz kid of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like that was because the toys were easy because everyone there was 12 of them and they didn't make sense, but you knew, oh, there's Hammerhead that you saw for a half a second, or you know, and then when it was right, I think was that right before the re-release when the card game came out is when you started seeing names for them.
Yeah, the West End games.
One of the Space Fighters needed someone. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, that goes like with the potato in
Empire
in
Strikes Back,
Empire Strikes Back, or the ET in Phantom Menace. Is it Phantom Menace has ET
Phantom
in it?
Menace, and the kitchen sink in Attack of the Clones. No,
There you
Revenge
go.
of the Sith.
So yeah, that's all the little stuff I liked. Zoe. I was telling her about the remember the models of vans. Like you could get a dark side van and had it would look like it was a MP something or AMF, or I forget what the model companies were, but it was like it was a snap together model, and it had a white van and it had Luke and them on the side, or you
Yeah,
could get a
like the
black.
custom vans.
Yeah, it was like custom vans, and everyone
Yeah.
wanted one of those. You know.
Well, and that people actually did that. So even
Yeah.
way back then in the 70s, it inspired different kinds of creators. I mean, let's think about like Miko and their disco music, or all of the spoofs and spin-offs or the parodies that show up. Heck, you could even say the 1978 holiday special was kind of in some ways a parody of itself.
Oh yeah. Well, and Todd said about all the other sci-fi movies that came out, both good and bad. Like if they're and if you look
Laser
if you
Blast.
but if you get a hold of and the toys, like get a hold of an old catalog, there was so many knockoffs. There was sometimes one page would be Star Wars, and then on the next page it was knockoff stuff. That was literally like, oh, there's the villain. He has a black cape and a weird shaped helmet, and like I had one of those droids that was like a tread droid with one arm was a positive sign and one was a negative sign. It was like an R2D2 knockoff, you know. Um,
Well, so that's almost, you could say, it's a whole nother street of how Star Wars influenced the world. Just
yeah,
the merchandising that was possible from a film. And it
right.
started off with books and puzzles and led into action figures, but then it was sleeping bags and wallpaper. They even made Wilton baking pans so you could make
Yeah,
cakes with
I have a
the
Darth
with some of
Vader
the
one.
different. Oh, you
I have a
do?
Darth. Yeah, I have a Darth Vader one.
That's actually worth a pretty penny. That one and the more the foil ones for R2D2. I think they made one for C3PO too.
Oh, nice.
Um, but like just the sheer amount of merchandising that came out then and that still continues. I mean, there are people out now hunting for the toys that were released for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's what Jake and I were talking about too, where you can have all the stuff Star Wars has, but if you don't have that backup, the real good story, and that's what happened to a lot of these places. They saw, well, look, they have ships in space, so we'll just put some ships in space, and we'll do as good as Star Wars. And surprise, surprise, it did not work. I think if there was some shows that as a kid I enjoyed, and then I tried to go back and watch them. I mean, not to disparage Buck Rogers, but I thought Buck Rogers was like the coolest show ever. And then I watched a couple clips on YouTube, and I was like, oh man, this really didn't age as well as
Well,
Star.
Buck Rogers specifically was a little racy
Yeah, yeah.
in comparison to Star Wars.
There we got Todd has a Darth Vader cake too. We could have a Darth Vader cake party.
You gotta have a bake off.
Yeah, I can make my famous Rona cake out and put it in my Darth Vader pan.
The great Tatooine bake off.
Yeah, there you go. Jawas fascinated me too. That's I think one of the reasons why I made my kids be Jawas right away. I think I always thought Jawas were cool because they were just like, as a kid, they were just like little cool. They didn't really add to the story as much as they were just little guys just in it. The droids. I said this on this show and other shows. You have to read Anthony Daniels' autobiography, but it was somewhat genius of George to not give C-3PO and R2 credit. They just got called C-3PO and R2, I believe, in the thing, which I thought was really cool. So, because I think that was one of the first. Wasn't there also something George got in trouble with how he started the
credited
film?
people. Yes, how he credited people. So did he put people at the beginning, like the actors' names or something? But George, from what I remember, I can't remember which movie it was, but he paid a fine to one of the guilds
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah.
And he after they brought it to his attention, instead of just changing, he said, "No, I'll just pay the fine because this is
Right.
my movie. This is how I want to make it, and here you go. I'll just pay the fine or whatever."
Oh yeah, okay. So Anthony, we did forget to do workbench, Ken, because it is getting nice weather. So we're starting to run out of excuses not to be working on stuff. So we could take a break from our reminiscent of Star Wars. Have you done anything on your workbench?
No,
No?
nothing. No.
All right. Well, so I just got it finished today at school. I just finished printing Mandalorian helmet number 5. So
Nice.
I have 5 Mando helmets, and I bought them from Free Plug for Galactic Armory. I bought the Fortnite helmets. I bought the one I wear in my Fortnite character. I forget what it's called, Integrity or something. It's just and then I bought the one that most of the female characters wear. It's a like a, I don't know. It looks kind of like mine, but it can be optional with that. But it came with a file that has a damaged one, so it looks like a claw. Something clawed the Beskar right down the face.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
I have on. If anyone doesn't know this, I'm making 5 Mando suits for my students, and I wanted to have them all printed by April, which I'm on track now. So all the armor and everything's printed. But I have 3 young men that run the news and 2 girls, and so I'm making them Mando armor for their May the 4th broadcast, and then we're gonna shoot it actually on May the 1st, and we're going to record it, pre-record everything in it, because normally we do it live, and then we're going to broadcast it on May the 4th, and they'll be in full costume, which I will be. I'm going to make some long form videos of those builds and stuff, but I can't stress enough how much I like the Galactic Armory files, because I'm printing it on, since it's for school, I'm printing it on the school printer, and because of the way they cut their helmets and stuff, I don't have any seams to fill. They go right where things go, which is really nice.
Well, to me, that's a fantastic example of something being made by a prop maker. So someone who understands the real world applications of how
Yes.
these things go together. It's not just scanning something or taking screenshots of something and modeling it in some sort of 3D software, but it's
Right.
someone who knows the construction side of prop building.
Right. Yeah. And what's I can't wait to make them for the kids. And I got to come up with some dates if anyone wants to come up and just help paint or anything. Um, but because these kids are, I would say they're casual Star Wars fans, but they've been with me. So this is their last year in middle school. So I won't see them anymore. But they're just such good students. They're all in National Junior Honor Society. They're all like leaders, like positive leaders in the building. They're all multiple busy in everything. They do news crew, robotics team, hockey, volley, all that. So I'm just trying to make something fun for them. Um, so that's my workbench. Right now it's just all the pieces. So my job this Saturday is to put all the helmets together and and um get them all glued together. And then I want to match each set of armor with what goes with what. So I keep the color schemes to match, and then I I think this week I'm going to find out if the kids play sports, like what their number is on their jersey. If they, because the one of my students, she's a big hockey player. So if she has a number that she's been for, then I'll just put it in Mando or something on one of the bells like Sabine has or something, or somewhere. Because I did. Well, I won't be able to put it on the shoulder bells for the girls because I did Bo-Katan with the mythosaurs on that. The guys, I did the shoulder bells from the Fortnite game. But yeah, that's what's on my workbench. So, and hopefully I'll be working on other things. I do have Ken's. I do have your Rex helmet too here, Ken.
Well,
You gotta make a trip up
you're
before gas is like $15 a gallon.
getting close. I mean, you had mentioned that you wanted to do a faux armor party. Let me know, and
Yeah.
we'll make the journey.
Yeah, I gotta look at my April schedule. I've been, but
I don't want to
yeah, that
show up at your house and have you be away for the day.
yeah, no. But just the weather. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm hoping these helmets get me inspired to build more because I like being outside and my garage is clean and ready to be building. So uh, again, I don't know how. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to attach all this armor. So I was looking at soft parts from some of those like cosplay sky, and I was looking at undersuits and stuff like that. So I always fear their measuring techniques. That's all.
Well, also considering what these are for,
Yeah.
and the time constraints that you have,
Oh
it
yeah,
might.
I'm not buying these kids cosplay sky. I should have put a segue for my Mando armor because building these kids, I have the file for the helmet from my guy from Fortnite, and I'm looking at that, and I'm not trying not to start new ones for me, but I look at that helmet and I was like, that's a nice helmet, you know. And the new generation of Anycubics, the resolution and speed is ridiculous. So we'll have to talk to Sean a little bit. So
Yeah,
well,
I
yeah,
mean, they've been doing a whole lot of stuff with hell divers, and
yeah,
Sean's been going to a couple of events recently. I think he was in New Jersey for Zenkai Con or something like that.
Lancaster. That's Lancaster.
Was that like?
Zenkai Con is 10 miles from my house or less. So I don't I know I think I thought Spartan was saying he was going to go, but I wasn't sure. Do you have any troops coming up, Ken?
The only thing that's on the books right now is Fan Expo and some troops potentially for the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
Yeah, they haven't even listed any for us for those. And yeah, Fan Expo, I'm still waiting to hear about our panel. And yeah, Fan Expo should be good. Um, the guys down so in I guess I don't know if it's the Fan Expo down near the one of the guys I do the 501st cast with. They just built a life-size ATST for their
Is that the Kentucky group?
yeah
Kentucky Garrison?
Tennessee, I think Tennessee, maybe Kentucky. I want to say Tennessee, but yeah, they just
Is it
built one.
Bluegrass Garrison?
Yeah, Bluegrass. Is that Kentucky?
I think so.
Okay.
Or maybe Bluegrass, Tennessee. I'm not sure.
Oh, good. He did go to my daughter went all 3 days, so I think she went in Fallout gear.
It's in
So
Kentucky. Bluegrass.
okay, Kentucky. Steel City Con, yeah, I know. Steel City Con, 10th. I gotta think when my winter break is. I mean, my spring break. Our spring break got eaten up because of snow. Well, that's cool. You should make sure you post pictures up. I always love to see Mandos in pictures. But yeah,
Anthony does a TK.
huh? No, I mean,
Anthony
but
has a
Spartan does a Mando.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We got two guys going back and forth. I think you and I would have a fun time doing a panel at Zenkai Con if we could get a panel. It's a big, I don't know how to say it. It's a big small con. Like it's a pretty big con in Lancaster City, so it has some of the feels of when you go to Philly without going to Philly. Now I think parking in Lancaster, depending on when you park, can be a bigger pain than Philly. But yeah, it's right downtown Lancaster, which is really cool. We went to, did you and I go to Troll Market when you were there, Ken?
No.
Okay.
We went to the arcade and then some of the outlets.
Oh,
And the telephone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where. Yeah, it's right down those. It's right at the other end of it's in the middle of town, right down from the comic book store, like 7 blocks from the comic book store.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I'll take a look for the pictures. Yeah, well, and again, all of this, I mean, it comes back to 50 years ago. So here, before I'm going to put Marcus's ad. Give us a 30-second break because I feel bad because I didn't use it when I was talking to Jake. But I'm going to put it. I think I got the new one he sent. You tell me if I put the new one up or if I just downloaded the same one twice. All right. But this is our friend Marcus. He's a stormtrooper in Central PA, I guess, or Eastern PA. The giant Marcus head always surprises me. Now, so we've said this before, Ken, but so let's say you have look at all your costume stuff you have now. Say it just disappeared today and you got cash value for it, but you had to build your next costume from New Hope. Which one would you build?
From A New Hope.
Like this is 1978 and you and I are going to a con and we only know of New Hope.
Then I'd have to build one of the two main characters. It would be Luke or Vader.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd still go with the Stormtrooper. I think I would still go with the. I imagine like the people that did build costumes, there wasn't as many, but imagine building a Vader in 1978. Like some things are probably easier to get. Like you could probably get a Graflex camera handle relatively easier than that.
And much, 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 much cheaper.
Right. But I don't know about much of anything else,
Well, they're probably also back then wouldn't be as much meticulous nerdery.
That's
Like
true.
they wouldn't be measuring the millimeters of the coin slots.
That's true. That's true. I mean, because it's a weird time, because when I first joined up in costuming, the coin slots were like a big deal because there was no 3D printing. Like, you either had to find someone who had the originals and they took a mold of them and made resin ones, and then you'd spend like 3 weeks like filing out the resin, hoping you didn't, gash them. And then 3D printing came along and it kind of evened the playing field once again. I think 3D printing is the answer to the extra nerdery of it all. Because now, like, all you need, like when I printed my Darth Vader chest box, there's 4 different ones to choose from. But you can get all those files for relatively cheap. Where in
Yeah,
1978,
oh, yeah, you'd be making this stuff.
you just make it, but it didn't matter. It has some green lights and some holes in it. That looks fine because everyone just saw it on a 35 millimeter screen.
Yep. No screen grabs, no high resolution images that you can enlarge.
Right. I mean, probably the collector cards were probably the best thing you had. Because a lot of the pictures at the time were black and white, like of Darth.
Yeah, unless you got the movie posters or
Yeah,
the centerfolds from like Starlog or
yeah,
cinematographer was American Cinematique or something like that.
yeah, yeah. That's it's
I want to
crazy.
go with an easy costume from A New Hope. It'd be Han Solo.
Yeah, but see, Han Solo is pretty funny because when you think about it, his shirt, the colors, like, I always think of his shirt as white, but then
No,
when
it's more like it's like an
huh?
eggshell, isn't it?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, when for years you thought it was white because the action figure was white. It's like the Han Solo Empire Strikes Back uh hood, his coat. It was more brown, but when you got the figure, it was blue, and I felt like my eyes made me see blue on the screen. You know,
Yeah.
Luke, you could do Luke pretty cheap too.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he wore like faded out Levi jeans. That's what
Yeah,
his pants were.
yeah, and I forget. Yeah, so you know, yeah, it's just it's crazy. Um, what was out there, and if you like, if it was 6 months before New Hope came out, and you looked at some of the promotional material, and you looked at what figures were coming out, or you looked at the booklet that came with when you went to see the movie the first time, the villains were a total different. You would like, in some ways, the Tusken Raiders seemed almost as big of a threat as Darth Vader.
Well, the fact that they made a Tusken Raider toy and all,
Yeah.
you know, was kind of not tricky, but it was inaccurate the amount of attention that the toy got versus the amount of actual screen time that they got.
Well, I think the worst for the first 12 was Hammerhead. Like, think about the Cantina people. You got Hammer.
The Death Star technician or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, no, Death Star. The first 12, it was Death Star Guard. It was the guy with the dome helmet.
Yeah.
Like, which is fine, but why did they make him and not the rebel soldiers from the beginning of the movie? Oh, there we go. Imperial Spy from Mos Eisley. Well, see, that's the thing. The Imperial Spies from Mos Eisley didn't get made till years later. But you got Snaggletooth, which was the wrong height. You know.
Wrong height, wrong costume.
Yeah, and you got Walrus Man, which I understand because that was kind of a plot point, maybe, but
He
not.
had two kinds of hands.
Huh?
Walrus Man, aka Pondo Baba,
Yeah.
had two kinds of hands. The
Yeah.
toy and then what you saw on screen. They weren't the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny. It's funny, because we're so used to knowing more about something coming out than they did with New Hope. They did a little better, I think, with the figures for Empire.
Well, the figures for New Hope didn't come out until well after the movie was
Well,
out.
that's true too. But I'm saying
They
they
didn't
were
come out until
working
the
on them
next year.
they they were planning them. It's just funny.
Well, even that alone, I mean, Star Wars changed. I know I kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, but I'll expand on it now. You know how things were merchandised.
Yeah.
At least with the other two movies, you had things on store shelves in mass quantities when the movies were out,
Yep. Yep.
which they don't do to the same degree anymore. I mean, think back to, let's say, Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte, even the Rise of Skywalker to a smaller degree. There wasn't as many offerings of those things
Yeah.
as there were back then.
Yeah. Well, and I think the best in the history of Star Wars toys for television shows, because that's also different. I think the best merchandise for Star Wars television shows was the animated Clone Wars.
Oh goodness, because there's just a sheer glut of them. There's so many, whether you're talking about just clones
Yeah.
or their vehicles, the play
But
sets.
you would watch an episode, you could go to Target like a week later and those figures were there, or that was in those batch of episodes.
Yeah.
Like I remember we were hunting, like my daughters wanted Goldie, the droid that replaced R2 for a little while. I was like, oh crap, that's gonna be hard to find. First Target I walked into, there was tons of them, So and
Unlike now, where they said that the toys were supposed to be in stores starting March 22nd, and I've only found a handful of them, and not even in the store I thought they were supposed to come out in.
yeah. Well, I think until kids start buying toys again, I think that's just going to be the case. I think that if I could take something back to the 1977-78 era of Star Wars, I would love to see the toy aisles when I mean as an adult I would like the toys, but I would like to see that just as many kids want the toys as the adults. So
Well, I want to go back to when toys were that. Toys were toys.
yeah.
They were meant to be played with and enjoyed, and stories told, and traded, and brought to your friend's house, and brought to school for show and tell, and that kind of stuff. Whereas now, there are men our age and sometimes a little younger, like elbowing people out of the way so they can get that prime box or two boxes or three boxes. They can keep two,
Yeah,
sell one
I
on
have
eBay.
special elbow pads for those days. I wear them just now. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be back. Kids will be back wanting toys with Mando Grogu, because we're coming almost full circle. We're at that yearly countdown to New Hope. I mean, we have other countdowns too, but we have New Hope being re-released at 50 years later.
Yeah, and let's think about that though. How many other movies are being put back in theaters 50 years after they've come out? And the only one that I can really think of that gets played that often is The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I was going to say Wizard of Oz and possibly Gone with the Wind.
Not to the same degree though.
No,
They're not
and
making
I
they're
don't
not
think
making sequels to Gone with the Wind or prequels to Gone with the Wind
right.
or
Yeah,
spin-offs of Gone with the Wind.
Wizard of Oz is probably it. I mean, I can't think of any other movies that hold up. I would say I would put the Star Wars movies probably, and they're newer, but I would put the Lord of the Rings movies hold up. Like I picture them having a 50th anniversary at one point.
The Peter Jackson ones or the Ralph Bakshi ones?
The Peter Jackson ones. I have a copy of the cartoon one.
The combination cartoon and live action, that one?
Yeah, and it holds up in some points in my memory. I mean, it's as good as my memory, but after watching the Peter Jackson one, it's hard for me to get through the Rankin Bass cartoon one.
Yeah,
When you have them both there, you know what I mean? When you have them both
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I mean,
playing the Bad News Bears.
Pedro's,
I mean, the Bad News Bears came out in '77.
yeah. I don't think
Orca.
I've ever saw. I don't think I've ever saw the Bad News Bears.
What about
Listen, when
Saturday Night Fever?
Star Wars came out, my movie watching habits really shrunk. You know, like I probably would have seen a lot more movies, but everything was the measuring stick for a movie for me to go see was Star Wars. Like it had to appeal some sort of Star Wars itch in me, and I would go see it. So yeah,
Well, back to what Todd was talking about, how Star Wars, opened the doors for many other movies, and some of
yeah,
them were wildly successful, and then some of them were I guess the kind way of saying it is loving imitations.
yeah,
Whether we're talking about things like Star Crash and Laser Blast and things like that, or even to a certain degree, Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar
yeah,
Galactica, even had some of the Star Wars makers. I mean, Ralph McQuarrie did artwork with it, and Joe Johnson did a lot of the stuff behind the scenes with it, but it didn't take off the same way that Star Wars did.
yeah. And then they had the Battlestar Galactic movie that they wanted all the theaters to have sense around. It was like a predecessor to I think like the Dolby and the what Lucas had put in, but they wanted seats that like shook and stuff, and that didn't really
The
catch
beginning of
on.
the D-Box thing.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, well, this would go along with our reminiscing. How is your costume going for
Oh, for our little contest?
your contest? Like
Yeah, I think
like if you're on a little meter, you know how where the firehouse tries to raise money to buy a new ladder.
yeah,
What bar percentage are you filled up?
I have the bulb.
Okay.
So there's more than nothing, but there isn't. I haven't built anything yet. I'm still in that research stage. I've narrowed it down from six. I think I'm down to about three choices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know if you're like me, sometimes the pre-planning takes way longer because it's like once you make that first cut, snap, whatever, then it seems like you're making progress. So
Yeah. And the other piece, and I know this was a bonus feature of this contest that Todd and I put together for ourselves, it was challenge, is I would like to see if it's possible to get, bless you, to
thank you.
get one of these costumes approvable by one of the costume clubs.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, if you're doing the droids cartoon,
Yes.
at the very least you could wear it with the droid builders. Get yourself a mouse droid.
Well,
It'd be a loophole in your
yeah,
uh,
true. But at the same time, the droid builders don't have any. They have no approval. So,
right. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so with that in mind, all of my costumes would be approved with the droid builders.
yeah. Well, I mean, so maybe it's a good way the next there you go. 11th anniversary of Dr. Afro. Holy crap. Zoe, that's like that's a lot longer than I thought. So, um but that's that's also a good way to like not end the show right now, but move into um this 1976 starting of filming of all these costumes. And we've said this before, and after listening to your last show and with the Mandos, and it is amazing like how what did this movie, or the way George shot this movie, I think it's more George's hand into it, but what it opened up, and I said to Jake, so Jake was saying like he thought he was going to be like a military guy or whatever his whole life, and then one day, I guess when he was jumping out of a plane or something, he had this epiphany that he just wanted to make movies. Like it just hit him. And then I remember the story of George Lucas, like he wrecked a car and was in a coma, and then came out and wanted to be a writer, movie maker. Like, is there something about, like, we live in such a society where you have to have a job, You have to do this. You have that we need these traumatic or mildly traumatic events, depending on who you are, to like kickstart our creativity. You know, like I wish my costuming creativity would have been kickstarted when I was 20 and not when I was in my late 30s. You know what I mean?
I hear that and I understand that, and at the same time, one of the things that I celebrate is the fact that you don't have to. You don't have to wish for it to have happened earlier. We have the ability, right now with the tools that are available to us, to the I'll use the word communities that are available to us. Um, we can do it without necessarily having it to be our career. It doesn't have to sustain us in those ways.
Right, right,
I don't have to give up my job to build a Mando costume,
right,
you know. And I can literally and figuratively have both of those things at the same time.
right.
And if I wanted to, I could turn this into something. I mean, look at you mentioned George Lucas, you mentioned Jake, but look at all the other people, whether it's Bryce Dallas Howard or even James Cameron, who got inspired and then decided to make a career, or even, you mentioned Galactic Armory. I mean,
Yeah,
they've turned 3D printing and prop building into a business,
right.
because there are fans like us, not just here in the eastern part of the United States, but there are fans like us around the world who will gladly work those hours at that job to give that money to that place for that thing that they can then make
Yeah.
themselves or modify themselves to wear in the library event.
Oh yeah. No, and I'm not saying like I wished I would have done it in my 20s as a job. I just wonder what like I think of all the efforts I wasted on nonsense if because I didn't realize I could just try something new, you know. So I'm happy. I'm just happy like when we were filming with Matt. That was just fun seeing us being creative but seeing him being creative. When you know when I go to armor parties and you see one person who looks like they first time they ever touched sandpaper, and you have another person creating something like as you speak, and you're like, man, that looks really cool, you know. Like I remember we were making Tusken Raiders, and we weren't getting anything done, and look over, and Marcus has almost a full Tusken Raider helmet built. You know what I mean? Like it's just neat to see all of that. So, and then we have Dr. Afra's 11th anniversary, which is still, man, that
What I would
seems
love
like,
to see from those armor parties, and I don't know how to, because I don't have the skill to do it, so I can't be the offerer of this, but I'd love to figure out a way where we got that one master, that one subject matter expert of whatever, who said, okay, let's pool our resources, everybody give this much, and we come together, and by the time we're finished, we're going to have this thing built, whether it's a Tusken Raider helmet or a set of chest armor for a Mandalorian or whatever. But that's what we are going to do. Like have you ever gone to one of those paint parties
yeah, yeah,
where you've got the instructor up in front of you, and by the time you leave, you all have a sunset painted because you've got the person who's leading people through that process. It would be
yeah,
nice where you could. I want someone to help me build this. I have the idea. I don't even have all the tools or the skills, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to follow your lead, to make this thing.
yeah. It's almost like you did for that, something like that, you would almost need something small enough, but I don't want to say easy enough, but because it always comes down to time. Like 3D printing is wonderful, but the amount of like when you want to make those prints right, like the amount of time it takes to smooth them out is still prohibitive in a thing like you're saying. Like unless you had like a weekend armor party where everyone like stayed overnight, all sand, let it dry. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I agree with that. I would love. That's what I was trying to do with the Tuscan Raider party, which we didn't do too well with. But um, yeah. If we had someone that had a vacuum molder, we could all do TK helmets in it. That you could do in a sitting.
Or gather together and we talk about these events that we go to, whether it's a fan expo or a library event. Let's get together and build this setup that we're going to use either for this parade or we're going to use for the next three library events or whatever,
Yeah.
where there's that community efforts to build the one thing instead of me over here in this part of the yard working on a backpack and this person over there in that part of the yard working on two blasters and these two people over here just kind of shooting the breeze because they haven't seen each other in 7 months.
Yeah.
To have that we're here together to do this thing, which is
Yeah.
why
That.
sometimes I like going to those smaller events because we're all here. We're not lining up to get a someone to sign our helmet or our set wall. We're here for the people who are coming to this thing.
Yeah. 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 I know. I know the events we have. Like, there's gonna be 25 troopers within 10 miles of my house this weekend because we have the science factory, which is always a good troop. I'm not
Oh,
troop
I
hunting.
didn't realize that was this weekend.
Yeah, it's I think it's Saturday. That's a good troop. I mean, but it's crowded. Like it can get crowded. I might drive by and yell Star Trek. I might ask, do a Star Trek sign by him or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'll wear my Spock. I'll wear my Spock shirt. But yeah, well, that's our 50th anniversary show, Ken. Um, hopefully, we got a lot of people talking about it. So, um,
Well, the fact that they're going to put the movie in the theaters 50 years later,
I tell you where
and
I want to see it is, um, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I would like some guidelines. Yeah. Well, I think what you said, Ken, about the bigger props. If we build it for, I understand cons are always where people want to build props for, but you said something about like the smaller ones and stuff like that. I think like a library event, if you took a prop that was kind of cool for kids to get pictures with, because some of those kids never get to go to cons. Like I've said this before, like sometimes I wish the library events got revamped to give a con feel, because I remember doing a library in Ackland. It's like, it makes Quarryville seem like a giant town. It's a tiny little town, and there were two kids there, and the librarian said, "Oh, they just come to this library. They don't really ever get out of town." You know what I mean? Like, and like if we could bring stuff like that, like the props, and there's a group, they make the droid backpacks. Have you seen them?
yes,
So, and they do a lot of pikes and stuff. And I think what I like about the droid backpacks is I enjoy the droid part, but I think it shows that you can make a prop that doesn't have to be a wall or a building, and it can get some traction. Like Mandos, especially. The Mandos have so many things that you could build props with that can sit around, and kids
well,
can,
so let's think about a library event. What do libraries typically have in common?
most of them have some books,
Shelves
huh?
and
Yeah,
tables. So you build a setup where, let's say it's a sabacc table or it's a workbench with various bits and bobs, and
yeah,
that becomes our setup. So we're going to get our pictures around this. So the three kids are playing cards, or the two kids in the Mando are fixing a droid or whatever, and that's much different than, let's say, a jail cell sitting in a corner or a backdrop of a spaceship where when you take a picture of it you can see the drop ceiling and you can see the wall over on this side.
yeah,
But when
yeah.
you're seated around an in-universe setup, it feels more like you're
Well,
part of the thing.
and the plus side to the big props, it does bring a lot of thing, but I've been in this long enough that eventually the big props that everyone loves, then they become like a custody battle between parents. Either no one wants it or everybody wants it. You know what I mean? Like it seems like they never end. It never ends well, you know.
Or two other possibilities. One, they they're built in such a way that they don't fit the setting that you're in. it's either too long or too tall, or not
Yeah.
long enough or too short, or because it is so big and clunky and cumbersome, it gets broken and damaged along the way, and it, it may look good the first 13 times you used it, but this 14th time we got bubble gum and a prayer holding it together.
Yeah, here is that oh, so near Todd, there the drive-in. If you can troop a drive-in, troop it. I highly, highly recommend it. I trooped solo as a drive-in. It is awesome. So um I don't know where that drive-in is, like how far it is from me, but
Shankweiler's, I think is
what is it?
I think it's Shankweiler's. I could be pronouncing
Is
it
that
way
near
wrong.
Allentown, Bethlehem?
Yeah,
Is that the one in a valley where they have two going?
that part I don't know.
Because there was one that was like in a valley, and it was like they had two different screens going. They were like cattywampus of each other, and that's the one I trooped, and it was so much fun. Like
Oh, that's cool.
I would highly, highly recommend if you can troop a drive-in, troop it. You know, you will not be disappointed. And most of the time, drive-ins have really good food. Like I can't eat most of it, but most of the time the drive-ins have good food compared to other ones. So the Mandos would have a blast trooping.
Well, and considering it's the Mando Grogu movie, it'd even take
Yeah,
that coolness factor up a couple notches.
yeah. Because I know, I just stood by the drive while they were literally driving in the driveway, you know, and I would just as a stormtrooper being able to say move along, you know, and I'd be like, how long have you owned these droids, and point to their kids and stuff like that. Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, for us, we'll just be standing there pointing in that direction, say, "This is the way."
Yeah, see, that's like you can't script that good. That's like
Yeah,
quality jokes there.
yeah.
We had a question about some definitions of wearing costumes in the late. I don't want to go into it and ruin our show, but in the 501st cast, um, but it was it was a lot of fun. So I would definitely troop that. So
That's awesome. Yeah, we had a Sue. Sue took the initiative and reached out to them and asked them to request us, or
well,
encouraged them to request us.
I think, and you and I have had this discussion about the groups. I think the groups have to um, reach out more, because I still think, because we're in the costuming silos of our lives, we're in those silos. People that don't know don't know. So they see a movie theater with stormtroopers, and then the other movie theater on the other side of town, they think, well, Lucasfilm, they don't know. So if they don't know, they just make up the worst case scenario, you
Yeah,
know. And when we reach out, not only is it goodwill towards the theater, um, it's, I don't know, it's so much fun. I just remember Penn Cinema was the one I reached out to, and I said, I just want to know when this showing is, and we will show up. And it was, I think it was I think it was Rogue One, because then they had them for Force Awakens. I was like, we'll show up in costume, we'll pay for our tickets and everything, and then after that they started having us, because they don't know who we are. So yeah, that's awesome. I might have to see if when that showing is, because that's gonna be on a Thursday. So Allentown, I don't know. Is that
yeah.
Memorial Day weekend?
They're doing it the weekend of. They're doing it opening weekend.
Right, but I mean, sometimes they have, like, on those big movies, they have like a Thursday showing.
Well, they will probably have a Thursday showing, but they're
No troops on a
requesting.
weekend?
Yeah,
All right, I'll have to look and see if our guys have it, but it should be a lot of fun. We have a lot to look forward to. We'll have to, we got mall coming up. So, well, Ken, since I said we have mall coming up, what's that mean?
I guess it means it's time to blast off.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for stuck with us. We will see you again. Ken, before we leave, where can they find you?
You can find me here most Wednesday nights. You can find me on Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken. Our most recent episode is out there wherever you listen to podcasts. It's also on YouTube. So if you want to see Todd and I talking with Tom Hutchins from the Mando Mercs, check us out there. I'm occasionally around the Jarek table with with Robert, Thomas, and David, and every so often you can find me on the Rambling Star Wars Fan and tell everybody about the multitude of places they can find you, good sir.
And I oh, hang on a minute. Wait, what does it say? Oh, Zoe said she got a package for Darth Maul, and she wanted to know if we wanted her to open it up on our podcast. That's what she said.
Sure.
Check my phone. Yeah, Zoe, are you home? Do you want to open it up? So we were just going to go, but Zoe got a Darth Maul package. Anyone else there want to see a Darth Maul package open? Ken,
Go for it.
you want to see a Darth Maul? I was going to say goodbye, and now Zoe says check your phone. So I was trying to be a good podcaster. And Zoe, do you have the link to the show? Let me see. I don't know. I think I have to send her the link in Facebook, Zoe. But yeah, also I definitely want to say you have to listen to Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy, not just because Ken is here and he's a friend of mine, but also that last episode, not only respect for you guys, but it's a good lesson in the Mando Mercs and what you guys do. I mean, I don't know if I'd be that down to earth if I was like the creator of the Mando Mercs. I mean,
A worldwide organization.
worldwide organization that gets to go, you know. So, all right. So, according to they want to see it, Zoe. I sent you a link in Facebook. So if you click in, but you can find me here, and you can also find me helping out Zoe. So here we're gonna have Zoe on.
Hi. Here,
Hi, Zoe.
unlock my thing.
So
Yeah,
are
I
you
just
going?
got back to my apartment, and
Okay.
I looked before I left for work, or before I left work, and it said the packages were delivered. So
All right,
Star
let's
Wars
see
sent me
what.
2 packages, but I want you to see. My room's a bit of a mess because I didn't make my bed this morning.
Well,
But I do want you to see how big these are. So this one here, this is gonna be kind of awkward. But this one goes. Look how big this is.
holy
This is
crap!
like
What is it? Is it?
my
Yeah.
room. And then this one is the other one's kind of a normal size package.
Okay. All right. So this is our live
This is my
exclusive.
unboxing
Okay.
of the
Drum roll,
Maul
please.
Shadow Lord promo package. And
All right.
all right. Okay.
All right. Can I wait a minute? Can I make your screen bigger? Whoops, wrong
Oh,
picture.
here, let me
Hang on. Let me make your picture.
go over here.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Don't do anything yet. I'm
I'm
trying to
gonna
make.
rip the tape because you know that takes me a while.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm opening the smaller one first.
Wait, what's on your shirt? Is that Jar Jar?
It's Jar Jar. Yeah, I didn't wear him to work, but
Oh, okay.
I thought I should wear something fan. I don't have any mall stuff actually,
Ken,
but I thought
knew Ken
it's
would like your
Phantom
Jar Jar.
Menace. It's Phantom Menace, so I thought.
Everyone should like that.
And Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy says hi. No rush, Zoe. We're okay.
Okay.
I don't want you cutting your hand on your cardboard box.
Okay, so I got a note from
Cut away from you.
Swagman,
Cut
which
away
is
from
the Star Wars social media admin. It says, "Once a rebel, always a rebel. May the force be with you." Your friend Swagman.
Swagman?
Swagman, like an admin, but swag.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is not mall stuff. This is. It says they saw my rebels room. I
Oh,
assume it was
okay.
mall because all the mall stuff's going out.
Oh, okay.
And then what's this? It says I met Swagman and all I got was this keychain. That's actually really cute. And oh, let's put it up. Whoa,
We definitely love a good show
it's
and
a
tell.
nice rebel jacket.
What? That is nice.
Oh, this is really nice. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Here,
Star
move your
Wars.
box so I can see the back of the jacket.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like more Imperial, but that's very cool.
Yeah. And some stickers that say Friends with Swagman. And a little Swagman's BFF necklace.
All
That's
right.
so cute too. And
Well, you need to BFF.
oh, and now I need to get my ears pierced. They sent me some Rebels earrings.
Oh, very cool.
Very nice. Okay. And then this is the big one. Oh gosh, this one I'm scared of.
Cut away from you. Cut away from you.
Yes, let's not. I see Nubs watching you
It's
cut.
just my keys. Just my keys.
Oh, okay.
You still
I-
pierce a
I-
vein.
Nubs is eyeing how you're cutting it, but on your back shelf there. So
Oh yeah, my nub bag.
Zoe always had problems opening bags and packages when she was a kid. That's why I'm worried. Spartan,
Okay.
Spartan, one of your fellow Mandos likes your jacket.
Cool. I know. I'm so excited to wear it. I wish it's like just now getting super hot in LA
Oh
these
yeah.
past couple of weeks, so probably won't get to wear it for a while. But
We feel so bad for you living in LA. Here.
I know. I know. Okay, this piece of tape is very stubborn.
Is it Lizzie's birthday today?
Yes.
Okay. I was right, Ken.
There we are.
I never doubted you for a second.
I don't know. I'm bad with birthdays.
Oh my gosh.
The suspense is killing me.
I know.
Now you have to pack it all back up and have a unboxing on your show.
Oh, that's okay.
They know you live in LA. Like they give you the biggest thing
It's
possible.
a life-size Zeb pop-up.
What? It's a giant Zeb?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
A 7'2"
Life-size
stand.
stand-up. Oh gosh.
Watch out for the ceiling fan.
Yeah.
I know.
We don't
I
want
know.
Zeb getting his head chopped off before you get to reveal
Oh,
him.
Zeb. Hold on. Oh gosh. Oh my god, he's he's enormous. Oh, there's cardboard everywhere. Okay. Yeah, watch out for the ceiling fan.
Wait a minute. So is this the Darth Maul stuff? or
No,
is
I
this
don't think this is the Darth Maul stuff. This was they sent it to me because I assumed it was Darth Maul because all of the Maul packages are going out now.
Oh, okay.
But this was just they saw my Rebels room
Oh, okay.
and wanted to send this to me.
We
Oh
can't
my
see
God.
you.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to show you guys this. I don't even know how to get this. Okay, I'm just gonna lean it here. First. Oh no.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to set him up for us. Oh, there he is. Well, there you go. So now you have.
Toes.
So that's quite tall, much taller than
Is
you,
he
isn't
wearing
it?
shoes?
No, he's got. I mean, he's got a little bit of room at the bottom. I don't know. Oh, I see it. He's that piece. I bet. Stand him up. Oh gosh, I don't know where he's gonna go.
Standing by your front door and scare your roommate when she comes.
Everywhere. You put him in the window.
Yeah.
So people just see the silhouette like Home Alone.
Yeah.
Hold him up and put him in the passenger seat of your car.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh gosh. All right.
Well, thank you, Zoe, for that. So you're not. So my question is, you're not. Oh, that's cool. So my question is, you're not getting Darth Maul. This is what you thought was going to be Darth Maul.
I thought it was gonna be Darth Maul because it seemed like they were sending out all the Darth Maul packages the same time they were sending this out to me.
Well,
So I assumed it
okay.
was Darth Maul. It's Star Wars.
well, that's just as good. So
Well, I don't know who the
But-
Star Wars.
very cool, Zoe.
Got a little Zeb and a big Zeb.
Yeah, and a jacket.
And a very nice jacket.
Well, you have to make
What
some
brand
videos
is
for them, but
this?
we appreciate you
This
sharing
is
it
a Heroes
with
and
us.
Villains jacket.
Huh?
This is a Heroes and Villains jacket.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to get my ears pierced.
Okay, well,
Earrings.
good luck with that. It hurts, I think.
No, it doesn't.
So I've heard.
Oh, it doesn't? I don't know.
I've had my ear pierced 3 times.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, awesome, Zoe. We were just getting ready to shut off.
All right.
So
Thanks for letting me jump in.
yeah.
Yeah, happy Wednesday for sure.
Yeah. Happy
Happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Bye.
See you later. All right. So Ken, we got all of our, I think we got all of our exits out of the way.
And some extra show and tell.
And
Bonus.
some extra show and tell. Let me see.
Very, 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 very cool.
Now Zoe is not shutting off, but I don't know if I can disconnect her. Here we go. I'm gonna well, I don't know what I just did there. There we go. Back to us, Ken. Anyway, so if everyone can like and subscribe, don't forget Lake Clan Legends and all of that stuff. And Ken, like every Wednesday, it's an awesome Wednesday.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's now see if I can end this with some dignity.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon.